1 2 check Chuffy 1 2 going live. 1 2 check Chuffy 1 2. Hi, you're with the Super Chuffer. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's your right ear and your left ear. We're in mono, and what we're doing today is we're looking into some of these PsyOp ideas.
Okay. Heather Gibbons. Okay. And you're both friends.
Yes, but yes,
yeah. And just tell me, you've been out all weekend?
All weekend. We're obviously a local community. They are our friends. Everyone's pulling together just to search to bring Nikki home for her 2 little girls. We plead if anybody knows anything, share with the police. 2 little girls want their mummy home. Please help.
I really need to see that full interview with the Under Armour hat on. That's a weird interview of Emma. That one wearing the Under Armour hat, Under Armour cap. Really strange choice for Emma there. Some people have said they think her eye looks bad in that. The other woman starts crying in that one as well. Crying going on. Or is it fake crying? I don't know. She hides her head. Hides her face. Hello everyone in chat. We've got Catwoman, Shannon Raven, 4D Man, Diane Morgan, Skittles, Cheeky Minx, Marie Green, Jenny Barnsley, Shay Costello, Missy Mel, Kane Corso, Marie Varanara. We've got a few of you. Tell you what we're doing today is it's going to be a short one. A short one. Hour and a half probably. Shorter version. And I'm looking through the tweets of a certain Richard Cartwright, who I actually quite like. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're Richard or a Rachel. You know, I got no idea about them. They're just somebody on Twitter posting stuff. No, there's me. There's me. I'm in one of them. So I quite like them. We have a little bit of a conversation on Twitter. I'm not angry in any way. I'll make that clear. Quite like it. Look, I'm in this one. I'm in this one. It says something like no dogs or something, and then someone stuck something on it. It's not a face. It's not a Muppet face. I mean, I know it doesn't look like there's a sign on the tree, but then when you do that, to me, I mean, I might be wrong here, but to me that looks like the back of a sign. Like, you know, on wooden signs, you have like little side, you have metal, like the back of it. Let me show you the back of a sign. Fixing the back of a wooden sign. Sometimes you have these, like, these are the front of all the signs, so that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 2 metal plates that you screw on the back. You know what I'm talking about. Fixing the back of it, just take out wooden sign, just put sign. Fishing, I put fishing, that's the problem. Fixing, or maybe it changed it for me. Fixing the back of a sign, there you go, look, you see how you have these 2 parallel bars on the back of a sign there? Often on street signs you'll have these 2 parallel bars, and they're used for fixing things. You know, that's how you fix a sign, isn't it? With those parallel... There's a round sign with parallel bars on the back. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So, for me, that picture there, it looked like there's something stuck on the tree. And I've seen loads of signs stuck on the tree. It might have been that someone went today and stuck a sign on and said, today we are filming, please stay back, or whatever. I don't know what the fucking sign looks like. But to me, it looks like a piece of wood with 2 of those parallel bars that are used for fixing on the tree. And then it looks like maybe someone... Bit of torn paper there. I mean, that could have been pulled off, removed, stuck up. I don't know. Like, to me, that's what that looks like. I don't see that as someone hiding behind the tree, but no. There, that's not a face. That's the back of a wooden sign. That's a circular. So I say my things. It says something like no dogs or something, and then someone stuck something on it. It's not a face. It's not a face. It's not a Muppet face. Sound angry. If you think that's more likely to be someone peeping out from behind a tree, then you've got to have your head checked. Because that is not a Muppet face. It's not a Muppet face, back of a wooden sign. Yeah, it does look that paranoid that you think that, then question your paranoia and just rein it in. Just pull back.
Man being. Human being.
It's me, look.
I hear you, man.
Hello, Horseplay, your first live. I hope you subscribe. Let's get me no, I can't do that, but copyright. I'm very smoking high grade, you fucker. Helps me cope with all this nonsense. Now, I don't see a picture on the sign on the tree there. You're right, although I do see a wooden sign just slightly higher up there with some torn paper, so it could be that if you slightly break that, I don't know, maybe the angle, I don't know. Maybe if you're looking across this tree down this way, I don't know. Maybe there's a sign stuck on here somewhere. I don't know. Look, I see in that picture there's no wooden sign where I said it looked like there were a wooden sign. But in the one I just saw, it looked like there were a wooden sign. Signs go up and come down. But there are lots of them. To like, maybe it's this one. Maybe it's that one. Like, there are lots of signs there. Wooden signs. So it kind of goes with what I was saying. I don't know. Anyway, the PsyOps thing, right? Hello to everyone in chat. Hello. That's what we're doing today anyway. We're going to look through, I'm going to scroll down Richard's tweets. The media tweets, really. I like the media tweets. You know, if they're videos and I can look into them, then we're going to look into them and see what they're saying and see if there's any credence to it, sort of thing. Just going to give my judgment. Going to be Judgy McJudgerson. Richard said I could do this. I asked them on Twitter if I could have a look at their tweets. I mean, I don't have to get their permission, but I asked. So they didn't want to come on the show. They suggested someone else might want to come on the show. I don't know this other person. So let me outline for you quickly what is going on. Where's my fucking ashtray? Oh my god. Oh my god, it annoys me. Okay, just 1 second. Oosh. Right. So, the idea of the concept of the PsyOp is that our government, or you know, powers that be or whatever, are playing tricks on us psychologically. PsyOp operation, and the concept is that this is all fake. This Nicola Bulley stuff. Like maybe she didn't even exist or whatever. And the idea is that it's been done to you to try and get your opinions changed. Now, I think that could be possible, you know, in general sense. You know, the government mess about and change people's opinions with spurious mechanisms. Yeah, I get it. But I don't think this is one, right? And I think there's too much. For me, it's just too much. It's like you have to fake an entire life. You have to fake the daughters. You have to fake you have to fake this, and you have to fake, and then everyone has to be in on it, and all the media are in on it, and all the people in the village are in on it, or maybe they're not, and it just becomes like this confusing, problematic barrel of fish that only one person has to fuck up and tell the truth, and it's all down the pan. I don't see it. You know, personally, I don't see it. I do want to. This annoying music, soothing music's annoying me now. It's not loud. It's too loud in my ear. There's something I want to talk about, right? So I need to get these two things out because we're going to be quite quick today. Fiona says Paul arrested ? In chat. I want to make sure we covered that concept, right? And then we're going to go through any piece of media we're going to look at. I'm going to say, well, I think it could be a PsyOp, and you might be right, or well, no, I think there's another explanation for that that's a bit more normal. Okay, so we're going to go through and look at that. I personally don't agree with the PsyOp stuff. I think that there's no evidence so far that's been presented by the PsyOp camp that I would say, you know what, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This is difficult. You know, everything else seems to be quite understandable. Even the coincidences, when you're dealing with small villages, there's going to be lots of coincidences. The number 23 on the bench and stuff like that, you know, people get the cob on about a number. There's numbers everywhere. So if you look around you right now, you'll find some stuff with numbers on. I can see a box here that says a 70 card deck guide. I can see my Nintendo 64 mug. There's numbers everywhere. So if you need numbers to be like, you know, connecting the numbers and numbers mean something, then you're going to find that in life because there's numbers everywhere. So it's just your coincidences and stuff like that. I think people get too over the thing about it. And I think if they wanted to control your thoughts, the concept here, like I was saying, is that the idea is that you would control the mainstream conversation about what should or shouldn't be. There's an idea that what. Sorry, people are just moving around out in the corridor. Messing about in the corridor where I'm trying to concentrate. Yeah. So, oosh. They said it in chat, right? And what it is, this idea about this online security bill or whatever. So the idea is that to push through a piece of legislation that would shut down people's conversations on the internet. Oh, no more free speech. No more free speech on the internet. Although YouTube is a private company, so there is no free speech on YouTube. We're not here in like America with the amendments. This is a private company, YouTube, and there's rules about what you can and can't say. Not just defamation. not just like, you know, privacy and stuff like that about doxing, but they've got their own, you know, their own rules as well, haven't they, about like conspiracy or rubbish or conjecture. Like they've got their own rules as well because they're a private company. So you can't fight for private free speech in private companies. You are free to speak in public. Like you're not free to go into a restaurant and start yelling, no, can you leave our restaurant? Can you leave our private company? I don't see Twitter, or these, like, Twitter's owned by Elon Musk. It's what he says goes. It's not free speech platform. There are other social media outlets that pride themselves on their ability to platform free speech, and you get lots of problems on there with, like, you know, horrible shit going on. But if you're really desperate, you could stream on Kick or somewhere else. So, like, what I'm saying is I believe in free speech, but I don't believe in people trying to fight YouTube for free speech. If you're on YouTube, you have to accept you've already signed up to their rules and guidelines. So you have to accept that. And the idea is that they're going to shut down our free speech. And so in order to shut down our free speech, they're going to pretend this woman's dead. And then you're going to go, you know what? I wish they'd shut down free speech on the internet. All those dirty fucking TikTokers. Right, I think this is ridiculous. I'll tell you for why. The most recent threat to your liberties was Brexit, when we removed ourselves from the European Union so that we no longer have to have their checks and balances when it comes to human rights. And human rights have suddenly gone down the pan a little bit, haven't they? We had a big protest in Bristol, ban the bill. The House of Lords had to take that one down. Suddenly we're sending immigrants to Rwanda, and people's human rights aren't as high in the agenda because the Conservative right-wing government don't care about your human rights. They want people to work in factories for a pittance so they can make lots of money. So, like, your human rights have already been attacked in lots of ways, and this idea about Nicola Bulley being an attack on your human rights is... Turn the music down, okay? I'm just going to stop it. I wanted calm, relaxing background music, but apparently it's not going calm, relaxing and background for you today. Maybe if I put relaxing game music for sleep. I'm a little bit on my egg about it as well, with the concept that, you know, it's too much. I don't want. I tell you what I don't want anyone else doing as well. I tell you what I don't want people doing. I don't want people being on the on here going, oh, he's a shill, he's on the government side or things. I'm against those people, but I honestly think, right, that these ideas come from Boris Johnson and come from, like, what's the name, Priti Patel and, like, the Tories. Like, that's where these ideas come from. The ideas that people are saying, oh, right, check this out, right? You're against the government, you're against the agenda, you're anti, you know, right-wing government, yeah? And then you're looking on the internet and you find this secret information that nobody else has on, like, a forum on the internet, and you're being supplied with this information, and then you're like, yeah, the PsyOp and all this. You realise you're being spun by the right-wing government. You're being spun by the elites because you're feeding the story out that they're secretly whispering into your ear, and you think you're finding something secret on the internet and you're discovering a PsyOp, and actually you're getting all the egg on and agitated about something that's there to confuse you, and that these ideas come from the right wing, the PsyOp ideas and all that. They come from the Donald Trump camp, because in America you had a disaffected group of people who wouldn't vote. They were anti-political. They were saying, I don't like the politics, I don't want to vote for anyone. And then Donald Trump came along and said, oh, conspiracy theories, and, like, oh, you know, have you seen all them? And then they all vote for him. Like, they pump it out, the right-wing media and the right-wing whatever you call them, the politics, they pump it out on the internet, so they slip it in under the radar at grassroots level for people like Richard to post on the internet. So I believe that you've got to question the narrative, and what you've got to question is this whole PsyOps, this whole conspiracy theory agenda. Is who's it being pushed? Where does it come from? Where's the seed of all this, and what does it do to the people who are into it? And how does it serve, and who does it serve? And so you must realise that the people who shout the loudest about PsyOps are the ones that are basically puppets of the elite. They don't realise they're puppets of the elite, but they are puppets of the elite. They're just really confused, okay? So that's what I believe about that. And I think that the idea that as a nation we would accept some legislation that would remove our freedoms online in exchange for, oh, I felt bad about this woman who got murdered, I felt bad about her. I just think it's very silly. It doesn't really matter what we think as a nation, does it? Like, do you not realise, do you not understand how these things work? Is not really important. My MP Nadeem Zahawi just got recently, they said, oh, we'll put you up again for election in Stratford, where I live, like Nadim Zahawi, will put you up again for election round our way, yeah? Will we? Will we? Even though he just like was caught doing the tax fraud. All right, okay, that's the Conservative Party's choice. It's not my choice. And then when he gets voted in, because the way the politics work, none of it is my choice, is it? And then they just do what they want in government. They're not doing my choice. So whether you think, oh, it's bad, I want free speech online or not, it doesn't really matter, because they'll make the choices. They're in charge. They got voted in for Brexit. Now they're in charge. Like, so like, I think you're confused about who matters in this democracy, because the people who really had a say in shutting down Kill the Bill were not really the protesters. Although the protesters were out there protesting, thank God, Kill the Bill. But the real work was done in the House of Lords, shutting that down. So like, I don't think that the House of Lords would accept an online silencing bill, and I don't think there really will be. Like, I don't think that you would put murders or pretend murders into action so people could believe a load of shit on the internet, and then that would make a difference. Because you know what, in reality, a lot of people just saw this on the news and thought, oh, and then just that was it. Like, you're into it. You're here chatting to me in chat, you know, you're into it. But a lot of normal people, you know, the average person on the street these days is not getting their egg on about online cyberbullying and Nicola Bulley and TikTokers. That agenda was pushed by the media, and the reason the mainstream media pushed that agenda is because when the Nicola Bulley case kicked off, they thought they would sell a lot of papers, get a lot of views, and instead, TikTokers got all the views, and they were like, what's this TikTok? I don't really understand this. I'm not as quick to get my media out as TikTok is. I'm on YouTube. We're like Sky News with our big cameras and all this, and we're doing the same job as some fucker turning up with their phone, because the playfield's got leveled now. We don't need the mainstream media as much. And then all of a sudden they're all like, oh, you know, right, attack TikTok, attack social media. These horrible ghouls here, and social media ghouls. While we walk the route that Nicola Bulley has supposedly last walked, these horrible social media ghouls. It's just a spin and conjecture. You know, it's trying to make the TikTokers look bad. So that's what's really going on. Let's address. We're going to go down this Twitter. If you want to tweet me, I'm at Informal Films. If you want to tip me, I'm coffee.com/Ganji, and I get the majority of the money from that. So that's how we like the TPs to come in. Thank you very much. Grateful in advance, and grateful for everyone who's tipped me when I've been off stream as well. 2 points of interest before we kick off properly then. One is about Paul Ansell's arrest, which I will talk on now. But just first, I've got a B-side channel, your channel, channels. The B-side channel, Battery Exhausted. I've dropped another Armchair Detective video today. He did this terrible art, this grift. He's been grifting again. And he's done this really bad artwork that looks like a child has drawn it. And he's trying to sell it on auction. It's like the world's most desperate grift. So I dropped that on the B-side. I haven't shared it on the main channel. I'm telling you about it here, but I haven't shared it as in like, you know, click button, share. I haven't done that on the main channel. My B-side channel is for other stuff. And I will be highlighting grifters. I will be doing that. We do Dark Side Phil. He's a famous internet grifter. It's a bit of internet comedy. It's a bit of fun. There's quite a lot of people on the internet who make these sort of call to, what's the word, accountability. Keep people to account when they're grifting on the internet. I'm not the only one. There's quite a few. And so Armchair Detective put his head up in my wheelhouse, didn't he? He rattled my cage. So from now on, when he does a stupid grift, I'm going to highlight it and point it out. I mean, the other day he did the one where he pretended that he was being hacked, so you had to go on his Patreon, which was like fucking laughable. But somebody else did a video about that. I'm going to call him to account. And a couple of people said, oh, this is like, you're bullying him and you're just doing it for drama and it's a bit beneath you. Grow up. Like, you know, this is the internet. Like, chill out. It's just a funny video about his stupid grift, and it's on my B-side channel. So it's there if you want to watch it. We don't talk about him on the main channel. It's not like the purpose of my content is to, you know, that you're confused by other YouTubers, right? But I think it's okay for me to drop what I want. So anyone who said anything negative about that, yeah. And we did have one, get this, we had one person, no offence to you, you know, you should obviously forgive me for this, but said that they were Christian and they felt I'd offended their Christian values by talking about chocolate and Easter and having a joke about Jesus.
It's raining again.
So,
I couldn't be happier.
Horseplay sent tippies.
thank you, Horseplay.
Thanks, Scott, for your limitless energy.
I'm grateful.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
I am. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. New chatter, new in chat, and new in tippies as well. Thank you. I apologise to the Christians if they feel offended by my approach to Easter, but we will be doing the chocolate edition, Easter chocolate Sunday edition, on Sunday, probably 2 hours before the FA Cup semi-final. Probably about you know, you're going to get you all remember this, you're going to get an emergency alert on your phone on Sunday, so I might do it 2 minutes after your emergency alert, because everyone's getting one. So it might be a good time to do it, you know, or might do it live with the emergency alert, and everyone will be alerted. They'll look at their phone, they'll see I'm live. But yeah, we'll be doing that on Sunday. So that's my bit of, you know, chit chat before we start. We're going to be reacting to content as we do, so we're going to get into that. I hope that all makes sense to you, though. I hope that I'm not offending anyone as well, because if you believe in a PsyOp, you know, I think it's a bit out there. I think it's a bit too much, but I'm open to your suggestions, and I'm open to, this is the important thing, right? This is something really important to anyone in chat who knows anyone that's into this PsyOp stuff, to anyone who's talking to anyone on Twitter who's into this, because you get a lot of arguments kick off on Twitter, and I don't want to argue with people on Twitter. And then we'll do, sorry, before we do the PsyOp thing, we will of course do Paul Lancel got arrested. We've got to do that. But the problem here, right, is that when people are arguing on Twitter and stuff, these people believe this shit. These people believe what they believe. Some people might be delusional. I'm not saying these people are, but some people in the world are delusional for other reasons. And when you help delusional people, like, let's say someone's having a psychotic breakdown and they think there's like green men coming through the walls or something, you know, something really delusional. You can't go in there and say, oh, just snap out of it. It's not true. Don't be stupid. They're having a delusion. So you have to go in there and say, okay, the green men are coming out the walls, but I'm here and I'm going to help you. And like, I don't see it, but you see it. So I want you to be aware that I don't see the same delusion, but I'm not saying you don't, because you obviously do. So let's try and help. Like, you've got to be careful with people who have delusion, because just by being contrary to their opinion, you're playing to the idea that you are part of the opposing delusion. Like, oh, of course you'll say that because you're against me, and you're yeah, okay. So like, it's a very interesting and careful way to deal with mental health with delusion. I think some of this PsyOp stuff is like that, because people they have fun ideas. Like, I have different ideas, we have different ideas, and if you start to attack people on a level of ideas, we can talk about it. Like, I don't like your ideas, what do you think about these ideas? But if you start taking things personally and start getting eggy and start getting mean and tetchy, then it's gone out the window. And the problem with some of these delusions is people take them to heart like they're part of their own identity. Like, this PsyOp thing is like, I'm a PsyOp uncoverer, I'm a anti-agenda, like, it becomes like, you know, Citizen Smith, like, you're part of your identity. So you have to be careful with the way you like conversate with people, to not get into an argument, you know, basically, and to treat their delusions or their thoughts or their opinions as fair enough.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
Mayor O sent tippies. Have one on me, cheeky chuffer. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Not the Mayor O. Thank you. Not the realist said PsyOps are real, but not everything is a PsyOp. That could be true. You know, that could be true. Maybe we need a bigger episode on the ones that were confirmed to be PsyOps and the ones that weren't. You know, I understand that the government are going to try and manipulate people's opinions. I understand that. But you must also understand that the way they try and manipulate your opinions, they have done recently. For example, to get elected with the Brexit. It was never about the border control. You can see that now, because the borders are not under control. Instead, all of their friends are getting paid in the hotel industry, and all their friends in Rwanda are going to get paid, and they're going to be backhanders and plane tickets, and like, just Jesus Christ. Like, it was never about what they said it was about.
Honey Lindsay sent tippies. Love your content, what's a PsyOp? Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you very much. A PsyOp is a psychological operation put on either by the government or a higher-up elite in order to control the population by making them think a certain way through the presentation of a fake. Like, it's like we're watching a drama, like it's like a movie, and it's all scripted and fake. And the idea is that once you've watched it on the news thinking it's real, you're going to then go out and vote a certain way or think a certain way because of it. That's the idea. It's to keep you in place. Other people might say terrorist bombs could have been a PsyOp to keep you against, you know, in favour of the war in Iraq and against the this and that. Like, so there's conversations to be had about what could and couldn't be, and certainly we have the power to do certain things through the MI5, but I don't think Nicola Bulley in this case is, and I don't think it could be. And it's important, like you said, that the baseline for this is that they're trying to control the way you think. And the problem with this is, yes, they are. It's being done through marketing, advertising. You know, recently when we had COVID, they were on all those podiums and they had all those slogans in front of the podiums, all those stickers on the podiums. You know, the theatre of politics, the way that Boris Johnson was on Have I Got News For You before he became Prime Minister. There's a lot of theatre in politics to make you believe a certain thing, and like once you've got the more money and the more marketing, like you drink Coca-Cola because you're marketed to it, you eat McDonald's because you're marketed by them, you vote a certain way because you're marketed by it, and it becomes less about politics and conversations about ethics and more about who's got the biggest amount of money and the cleverest marketing tricks. And so PsyOps and marketing tricks, I think a lot of people are confused. They think, oh, PsyOps are going on, because actually a lot of marketing tricks are going on. And like people, like we're talking about whether Nicola Bulley really was really dead or really was real or all that, when instead you should be asking, why aren't we fixing child poverty and we're so angry about like a few thousand people coming over on a boat? And I understand there are issues with immigration, don't get me wrong. I understand there are issues with like people who fought in wars, people who have come to join drug gangs. You know, I understand. But I also understand that the number of children in poverty vastly outweighs that problem. And yet we never talk about the number of children in poverty, because the PsyOp is that they've got you talking about all this other stuff. And at the same time, Boris is having his curtains made. So it's ironic that people who should be calling out the bullshit are calling out this. And this isn't... Like, Boris is laughing when he sees Richard tweeting all this stuff, because Boris is he's just the word for the Tories, you know what I mean? But if you had Richard Cartwright digging into Nadim Zahawi's affairs, you know, looking at what Nadim Zahawi had been up to and pulling out all information about somebody who was literally with his hands on the money tap recently, you know, funneling the money. If you could get doing that, you'd be dangerous to the government. But when you're busy doing this, photographs of Emma White and things like that, you're not dangerous to the government. You were a apolitical, like an anti-political, you know, this sort of person maybe 30 years ago, maybe before the internet, would have been fighting the government with political, you know, like they've got a brain, they're smart, and they're looking to see how they can see different, not what the narrative is, but to question it. So now we've got these people confused and arguing with each other about whether Nicola Bulley was wearing a hat. It's fucking, you know, to me it's that. So that's PsyOps. We're going to look through these tweets though, and we're going to give them some credence, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. So I think it's fair where I'm coming from to say that. So now is another important point. Paul Ansell arrested. Yeah, you're going to hear now for the next few days a lot about Paul Ansell and whether he was arrested, and a lot about people kicking a door in that area of the world. Divers in river. Is it gonna, like, this is awful, isn't it? That's awful. That's not even that Hollywood Stars dirty, disgusting channel showing clickbait. It's still got the thumbnail of a dead body in the water that's not Nicola with an arrow to it saying it could be Nicola. Absolutely disgusting. Maria Solars, right? Now I don't know who Maria Solars is. I have no verification for who Maria Solars is. I'm not saying she doesn't exist. I'm not saying she's not real. I'm not saying this isn't real. I'm just saying I can't verify it. Has put up a video on the internet, on YouTube, right? And it says that it's on 4th of April. I don't know that's the truth. This could have been shot at any time. I could make this video now by going over the old footage and showing you some... I could make it, couldn't I? Any of us could do a video, show some divers in the river, where Nicola Bulley was apparently in the river. You know, you all know about this, don't you? You've seen this video. You've seen this video because it's been presented to you on 2 other channels. It's been presented to you on Penny Bunny, who literally says on her work, I don't know if this is true, but... I don't know if this is true, but I heard someone say at the bus stop, it's a load of old fishwives. Like, you can just bin that off, right? At Super Chuffer, she's in the chat. Fair enough. Like, if this is verifiable, fair enough. Like, it can be verified. I haven't seen it verified. I'm just saying you've got to be careful in this world, because there's a lot of people... I'm not saying this person's doing this. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people who are interested in just, you know, having their face in the sun, like having their their shake on the internet or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are interested in 5 minutes of fame, and there's a lot of people who are I'm not saying this person's doing this. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there as well who are mixing up the truth and the lies and the conspiracy and the truth in this case. You know, we're talking about PsyOps today, so just saying this stuff before I started recording, they waded up to the weir, climbed up. We should have recorded it. You can't just say it on the internet unless you're going to come on, be verifiable. And that's where we're going to come to in a minute. Somebody's interviewed this woman. Like, Penny Bunny is just conjecture and bullshit. I wouldn't give her the time of day. I think that looking at her channel recently, because someone suggested to, and seeing that she said, this is just something I heard, just some nonsense. I could write any nonsense on the internet. You could. What are you going to do about it? Like, people are on Facebook writing all sorts of nonsense. Have you not been have you not been on Facebook for the last 10 years? It's full of liars and nonsense. Yeah, it's full of lies and nonsense. So, yeah, and then you've got she was on AD yesterday. So interesting that you would then, like, AD's the same. He's like seeing this video and he's like, right, I need to be on this first, me. Like, let's get the views and the clicks and the money for that. And like, he's not trying to verify it. He's just got her on, and then she's telling him it's this. And it was the same with the CCTV, right? So we had the CCTV by Jizzy True Crime. AD Detective was on it, like, oh, it's this fucking real CCTV. It proves Nicola was there. And then 2 days later, after I'd ripped it to pieces, he's like, oh, you know, Penny's in the chat. Fair enough. She probably is, because she probably listens to me to try and get ideas. Penny's not great. You can't say that she's great, right? She can be a lovely person, but her content is rubbish because it's lies and not lies, conjecture. This is what I said. Paul Ansell's been arrested. They've kicked the door in. Do you know that's the case? Or are you listening to some tittle-tattle bullshit? Objection, hearsay. The problem with the true crime world is that you should be dealing with evidence and fact. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be on the internet calling yourself a true crime channel, because what you are is a gossip channel. Yeah, that's all it is. Like, Penny Bunny will be first on some things because she will be wrong on a lot of things. She will say a lot of stuff that isn't verifiable, hasn't been cross-checked. It's just some bullshit. There's a Facebook group and some woman in the Facebook group said it. And do you know that woman? No. And is it a fake account? I don't know. And who's running that fake account? Well, it could be Paul Ansell and his mates, or it could be the right-wing media, or it could be, well, now you've got problems. So what you need is to verify stuff before you speak on it on the internet. Otherwise, you're not credible. And if you're not credible, you're out the window, you're in the bin. Yeah, bear that in mind. You might not agree in chat. That's up to you. You can go around like with your head in the clouds listening to any old chuffer saying any old thing. That's up to you. That's how this shit goes on Facebook. That's how this shit goes on, the gossips and the witch hunts. Like, what I've done is I've gone on verifiable evidence every time. If I'm broadcasting it and I'm talking about it, it's because I can see it and it's fact. Here, there are people in the river. When is it? I don't know. When is it? I don't know. Okay, that's what I can go on there. She can come on, she can talk to us, she can be verified. Like, just having someone on saying, oh, I shot it on this day doesn't make it verified, but it can be verified. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, someone else, Penny Bunny is a great example. I'm not going to bring up a channel either. Some of you know in chat, some of you know, is you can't come on and just say, right, I heard someone on Facebook suggest this. Someone in St. Ives has had their door put in and the police have been round and it sounds like a drug bust and Paul might get arrested. You just tittle-tattle, prittle-prattle, little birds, you know, it's just bullshit, isn't it? It's bullshit. Jason Rothwell's here now. It's as bad as that. It's as bad as those psychic mediums making shit up. You're desperate for views, you're desperate for money on the internet, so you're making up shit every day. And if you haven't got something to make up, you'll source it from some chuffer on the internet said it. And if some chuffer on the internet said it, I can say it. I can set up a fake account on I could have made this video, set up a fake account and got my mom on to say, like, you know, I'm this woman and I've done this. Like, you've got to be careful on the internet, haven't you? You've got to be careful on the internet. And do you know how careful you've got to be? Well, Armchair Detective showed a video from Jizzy True Crime. They both said it was real CCTV. I proved it was fake. What do you want from me? Like, I can't trust you anymore. If Penny Bunny's going to come on and say, this is just something someone said on YouTube, it might not be truth, but let's have fun. So entertainment purposes only, £100 for that video. Then she might as well go in the bin, because I'm not interested. I can get my entertainment and my gossip from Coronation Street. Like, it's just, if you're not going to be trustworthy and you're not going to be legit and accountable and above board, you go in the bin when it comes to serious shit like this. And this is serious shit. So Armchair Detective, Jizzy True Crime, proven liars, proven on the internet to have lied. Armchair Detective, proven grifter, consistent grifter, everything in the bin. Don't know why this woman who shot this video would go on his channel in order to prove that she's legit. And I don't know why Penny, when she shared it, wouldn't say who it was and which channel she was watching. Because she was just watching it like we're watching it here on the internet, but she hid it from you. I watched that on Penny's channel. She was like, I've got this video. I won't say the source. I never reveal sources. I don't want to reveal my sources in case, I reveal them. She's on the internet with her name on the channel. You're not protecting her. You're just keeping it from the other people because you want it for yourself. You're just a greedy little chuffer. Like, oh my God. So what I'm saying is, everyone in the audience today, has Paul Ansell been arrested? It's just some bullshit gossip. Between now and when they release more information, everyone's desperate for information. And some people are going to say some things that are not true or make up some gossip so that everyone talks. And they love being the one to share the gossip so that all the attention's on them and they're getting the views on YouTube, yeah? Like, hello? The rest of us grown-ups, the rest of us grown-ups are going to be busy, like, dealing with shit as it comes down, like, in reality. But I've got no time for Penny Bunny. She can go in the bin because she told me on her channel that she was talking conjecture and bullshit.
It's raining again.
Not like,
I couldn't be happier. Swish!
S.Which sent tippies. You're the only person I've heard talk any sense on any kind of media channel for years. Super Chuffer owes 7 hugs.
Thank you, I'm very grateful. I'll tell you one thing I'm careful of. I don't want to say, we talk about these tarot cards, and I'm open. I don't believe there's any magic here, but I'm open to exploring it because I haven't really explored it in my life. But at the same time, I don't want people to think, oh, he's so open-minded, he's an idiot. Like, sometimes I have to call it, say it like it is. If it looks like a duck and it smells like a duck, then call it a duck. And if it stinks of shit, it's shit, isn't it? Thank you very much, Youre. Paul Ansell isn't arrested. No, of course he's not. Just like Grizzly said, that's Nicola Bulley's keys were found in the pot. No, thank you for the £5 super chat, but I was just exempling how a stupid rumour can go around and people believe it and they say it in chat and then it comes up and somebody on the internet today somewhere is going to be saying Paul Ansell's been arrested. Somewhere on the internet today, someone's like on your Twitter, on your Facebook. No, of course he's not been arrested. Well, I don't know if he's been arrested or not, nor do you, nor do anyone, unless you're down there verifying it and showing me the evidence. Yeah? So, like, it went around recently that they'd put a door in. It went around on Twitter. It went around, and I'll tell you who puts that shit around. People who just say things without verifying them so that they can get some attention in that. I've just told you all about it, yeah? So those sort of people include AD. They include Jizzy. I've seen it because they posted it on their channels. They include Penny Bunny. Got to go in the bin, I'm afraid. Did it on your channel. I don't know if this is true, but fucking saw it on fucking Facebook. And it says, like, Maria from Exeter said it, and she might know. Like, come on. Come on. You're just grubbing around in the dirt for extra YouTube views. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. So if you want to use that as your source, as your resource for this Nicola Bulley case, you're going to get led down this path and led down that path. An armchair detective think this is a clue today and it's not a clue tomorrow. Now this is real and that's real. And you're going to be there forever watching their fucking interviews and videos because they're just cloying on to, like... And people suggest the Candice Star stuff as well in chat and these spirit mediums and stuff. I've got to be honest with you. Careful of that as well, because isn't it convenient to some woman in America that they can channel Nicola Bulley, who died in Great Britain, and talk to her spirit? Because their channel is now getting some views and she's getting some money. So if you're getting views and money out of it, it's very convenient to you that you can channel the dead ghost of Nicola Bulley. And she's quite popular, the dead ghost of Nicola Bulley. She's on all the different channels. She's in everyone's tarot cards. So it's very convenient for all of those people, isn't it? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you've got to have a word with yourself and you've got to question the narrative. That's where we're going to come to these tweets and question the narrative. Question the narrative is a slogan, right? It's a slogan put out by the people who are anti-agenda, and that's okay. You should question that narrative. But what you've got to be careful to do is question the narrative that's being fed to you on Facebook or through this group or in this forum, or question the narrative that you present. Question the PsyOp narrative. I think this is a PsyOp. Everything's a PsyOp. It's all got to be this. Right, well, question that then. Question that as well. Question Penny Bunny. Question Paul Ansell. Question me. Yeah, question me. This goes for me as well. You shouldn't put so much stock in me. I'm just some chuffer on the internet. The person you should have the most, and I mean this as well, the person you should have the most faith in, and it's difficult these days, isn't it? Because you're taught a whole load of bollocks. But the person you should have the most faith in should be yourself. Like I'm essentially a stranger on the internet, and you shouldn't believe anything I say because I just said it. You should need evidence.
Swish, and then
Viking Shield Maiden sent tippies. You seem a bit tense tonight. Sending you a virtual massage #hash. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
You're right. Why did I just get so worked up? You're right. Why did I get so worked up? I'll tell you for why. And you can, take me at my word or not. I'll tell you for why, is that I believe in right and wrong in this life. I believe in ethics, in just behaviour. I believe in fighting for the underdog. I believe in standing up for those who haven't got a voice. I believe in love thy neighbour. I believe in goodness. Yeah. And when I see people deliberately misleading people on the internet for their own greed, I find it despicable, especially when it's all centred around the death of a lovely woman who had kids. I don't agree with her politics, but she's a woman who had kids and someone's murdered her, and it's like feeding frenzy, and I'm part of it. I get my money on YouTube for saying what I think. I'm part of it. I've got a YouTube channel and I'm getting lots more views on my Nicola Bulley stuff than I got on my other stuff, but I got more views on my ASMR stuff than I got on anything else. So if you're going to say, well, you've just gone where the money is, where the views are, I'd still be doing ASMR. For me, there are different motivations, but I have to accept that I'm financially tied into this. I want my channel to grow. Subscribe, please, if you're watching. I'm not going to be beholden to Nicola Bulley and Nicola Bulley content. I'm not a true crime channel. I'm a psychologist who can do body language and other fun stuff. Yeah, but I can see the YouTube world and I know what they're up to. I've seen it. I'm part of it. So I don't know. Yeah, make your own mind up. Make sure you question the narrative, and please don't buy into this bullshit that you're getting fed by Penny Bulley and Armchair Detective and even Grizzly True Crime, who are all trying as well to. Oh, I'm going to do a bit about this other crime now. I'm going to do a bit about this other case now, so you can see me doing a bit about something else. And, we're going to come back to Nicola Bulley in a minute. But at the same time, you give them a sniff. Oh, I heard Paul Answer was arrested. Quick, get online! Quick, get online! Yeah, I've got a video of a grainy image of a policeman in the water that could be from 2 weeks ago for all you know. Get online! Get online! Fucking give me money for the fucking doing an investigation. I'm an investigation team. Come on. Come on, everyone. Come on, everyone. Come on, everyone. Yeah, it got me angry, actually. It did. You're right. I need to let that go, don't I? In honesty, I do need to let it go, because there are going to be people doing that. It's not just about this. It's been Madeleine McCann. Those parents went to meet the Pope. It was disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Recently, in my way, I'll tell you 2 things that have made me, can't really sleep properly over it, I guess. I know it sounds stupid. It doesn't plague me in the night. But around my way, in the England, we've had the largest sex abuse case safeguarding report concealed. And there's 21 people. It's around my way. It's up my area. 21 of them, fiddling the kids. Fucking disgusting. And then there was that boy, Arthur. And I'm only going to show the positive picture of him. There was this is going to make me tear up now, and it's going to make me a bit, I find this difficult, but this happened fairly recently. I don't even know why I'm on it now, but Arthur was tragically beaten to death by his parents, and as the team that I support there proudly state, and we won't stop stating, he's going to have his own match every year. We love you, Arthur. We love you. There's some bad shit going down. There's some bad shit going down. It makes me angry. It gets me eggy, and it makes me upset. So this goes into that ballpark in a way. And I've only been exposed to it through recently. I did... it's kind of weird to say it, isn't it? But looking back now on a month worth of this shit, I did a little body language analysis and reaction to a TV programme that was put on the telly talking about this woman who died. Or not died, or was missing, or whatever. And I was like, well, it looks like this chuffer's done it. Look at him on the internet. Look at him on the video. and you know, analysing it. Oh, it's just gone from there. I'm just a normal person who has to deal with this shit, you know. Yeah. So Nicola Bulley PsyOps. That's what we're doing today. I don't know what I got. I don't know where I'm going with this now. I'm just getting myself. You know, someone said you're mad, and you're right. I'm mad, and I have to let it go. And I think the reason I'm trying to work out in my mind why it makes me so mad, like the concept of just Penny Bunny whacking on the camera and like, you know, making another like 20 quid out of Nicola Bulley conjecture and bullshit. The people on a Facebook group thinking they know it all, when actually they're just some up their own bum, desperate for their own opinion, you know, person. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe maybe it shouldn't make you angry. Maybe I should be allowed my anger. I don't know. But I personally know from my own personal world, I can't carry that anger forward and like use that in my life as a thing. That has to go away. It has to be binned off like the rest of it. It has to be just let it go. So we're going to try and have a more enjoyable time looking at this PsyOp stuff now, right? So here we go. Here's one. Look at the angle of the policeman by the tree. If you thought the Chuff 'em Up it was bad, what we're seeing here is this policeman by the tree appears to be leaning back, and I'll tell you why that could be. It looks like a very wide shot, this, doesn't it? It looks like a very wide shot. So it's either that policeman is leaning against something, or it could be a composite image of, like, you know when you get your phone and you do that and do the panorama? Could be like that. So composite image on your phone, panorama, it's, you know, created some anomaly here. Or it could be that you've got a wide angle lens and you can see over here this tree. You can't see because it's slightly cut off for you because it's such a wide shot, this. So I suppose I get Final Fantasy 2. I call it FF2. It's not Final Fantasy 2. It's Firefox 2. My second Firefox window, please. There you can see on the far right hand side here, this tree is bending as well. This, what I assume to be a bend on the tree, on, why can't you see my mouse there? That tree seems to be a bend. This seems to be slightly distorted here. Trees grow funny, but and the ground is all sloping down. I think the camera is creating a shape on the edges, and that's causing that police to look like that. Or the other option is the policeman is simply, or police person is simply leaning against this tree. That's option. There's such a lot of, like, this is such a bad quality JPEG, and there's such a lot of compression artifact on it that I can't judge much about how whether the, like, if it's a composite image on Photoshop, we are now beyond being able to tell that because of all the artifacts that are on top of it. You know, but it could be. And check this out though, right? If I want you to believe in PsyOps, I can make that image in my computer and put it out there, and you're going to go, oh, PsyOps exist. But no, it means that photo exists, and someone wants you to think PsyOp exists. Question the narrative. Who wants you to think PsyOp exists? Maybe someone trying to confuse you and get you, like, you know, you got to question that. You know, you got to question that. It's not good enough to say I think this photo is fake, therefore Nicola Bulley is fake. What you've got to say is, I think this photo is fake. Where has it come from? Who is providing it? And why are they trying to make me think it's fake? What, you know, where are the agendas here? If that's your belief. If that's to be your belief. Which it can be, you know, you can have your belief. I'm not angry at you for your belief. Like, it looks like a slightly weird picture. But a lot of these problems... please, can I have my main frame here now? Firefox. A lot of these problems... hello? Why is it doing that? There you go, you've got a bit more of it on there now. A lot of these problems come because we're jumping to conclusions, I think. And... hello in chat. Some people's questioning gemjam. Right, we're going to talk about gemjam because, like... Do you want me to jump to gemjam because you're saying it in chat now, right? So there's an example of the first one that's there. Like, it can't be meant to mean anything. Like, I'll tell you what, that was another point, is it's one pinpoint of light. It's not the full picture. Like, what I mean is it's not lots of evidence. It's one, and you're trying to show me on Twitter, here's one picture that's funny. So, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, what do you mean? You've got to explain more. And the problem, one of the problems Richard has is that people find he doesn't explain that very much more. Like, joking about what I said. I could be wrong sometimes. I can make ideas up as I'm watching the videos. I say make ideas up. What I mean is I'm trying to explain what that thing was, what it looked like. And to me, it looked like a sign. So I said it looked like a sign. It doesn't mean like out of 15 hours of Nicola Bulley investigation, body language analysis. Out of all this time that we've been on the internet, I might have said one or two things that you clip and make me sound a bit silly. But like, you're focused on the wrong thing. Like, I'm not... If there is a PsyOp, my opinion on what that sign thing looked like is so far down the list of priority for you that you're confused. Like, why does what I say about... I thought it looked like... If you thought the Juffa Muppet was bad, look at the angle of the tree. Explain what you mean. Explain what it is. The angle of the tree proves that XYZ, and therefore XYZ. Explain it. Don't just give me a random thing. I think this is where people... I talk sometimes on our streams about not taking people out to the woods or the dark areas of the internet and leaving them there. Like, I've got you by the hand at the moment. I've got you by the hand mentally, and we're walking through ideas. And if I just let go of your hand and leave you there, you're left to say, oh, okay, so this picture's weird. Now what? I don't know. I have to make up the rest myself. And I think that's part of this PsyOp thing, is they give you things that don't seem to, oh, that's a bit mysterious, and then they leave you to it. So that you've got to make up all this, you've got to put the 2 and 2 together. Just tell me if you want it to be understood, and then we can critique it. Don't just leave it hanging in the air like a bad fart. I think that's wrong. I'm skipping that one because I don't understand this one. This one annoyed me because I'm not in it, but it's the highlight of this. This is interesting, is that you're playing into their hands now, armchair detective here, because people who believe it's a PsyOp will feed off people getting things wrong, or making up something that's not quite true, or putting out a piece of CCTV that's clearly been doctored. So the armchair detective was very swift to invite Maria on. I'm not saying Maria's not credible. I'm saying that as a journalist, if that's what you are, I don't know what armchair detector is, like grifter as far as I'm concerned, but he's more concerned with getting her on so that we can have an internet show so that he can make some money than verifying the piece of media. And of course he'll say, oh, she sent it to me and I can read the metadata, but he doesn't know what he's talking about.
She could have fallen and drowned. That's what you're saying. You're saying that, aren't you?
Being there and stood on the edge, it does feel like it's a possibility, a bit of a remote possibility, but
you'd have to hit her head if she goes.
She'd have to hit her head. I think it is possible because you are quite unsteady when you're on the edge there.
Right, but this is just like some random conjecture, isn't it? And like, it's like someone's gone right back to the start of the case and said, right, I think it could be possible that she could fall in the river. Like, it's irrelevant to me. Maria's in the chat offering you a footage in full. Well, great, that's lovely. The thing is, I'm not critiquing Maria. I hope you've been clear here, Maria. I've been clear. I don't know you, so I'm not critiquing you. I'm saying in true crime situations, we have to be careful about gathering evidence, and it needs to be verified so that it can be publicly verified so we can use it as evidence, yeah? I say we, right? This is important. I'm not a true crime channel. If you want to come on and you want me to verify what you're doing and I prove it to the internet, I'll do that with you if you want. That's fine. Like, I'm absolutely fine with that. But my channel is about, like, it's hard to explain, isn't it? Live stream rabbit hole stuff. I've got a podcast where we talk about forensic psychology and psychology about how people think, feel and behave. I care about people's mental health. I do a variety of content. Recently we talked about Nicola Bulley and there's no case, because there is no case, is there? Nicola Bulley case. It's not a case. They wrote it off as a missing persons, but we've been talking about it as if it was. What we've really been doing is reacting to the body language in the interviews. That's what I've been doing. Reacting to body language in interviews and critiquing the things people have been saying on their online media content. So I'm not a policeman. I'm not a journalist. Well, I'm sort of a journalist, aren't I? Like, sort of. But do you know what I mean? I didn't do a degree in journalism. I'm not a detective. I'm not an armchair or private or otherwise. So I'm here for entertainment. So if you want to come on here, James, I can see you're not being listened to. That's what you're saying there in chat. There's a lot of chat going past. I'll try and see what you're saying here, James, because I do want you to feel listened to. But Nobody else seems to know how to use the tags, which is why I'm telling you. Thanks, Medway. You know, there's a lot of chat going past. I'm trying to talk as well at the same time. So my point is that me as a YouTuber is one thing, yeah? Armchair Detective pretends that he's a detective or what have you, or true crime. He's not. He's the same as me. He's just a person at home with an internet. Yeah. So like, I think the people who are really concerned to have this media verified would be the ones that are like deep. And I'm not saying don't do it with me. I'd love the views. You know, I'd love the views, wouldn't I? Come and do it with me. Let's send it to me and let me show you the metadata and all that, and I'll prove it from that day. Fine. But or you could do it on your channel. That's fine. But like the concept that the concept here that I've got a problem with is that Armchair Detective doesn't, like, he's a true crime channel who puts himself up there to these standards and hasn't done that, and doesn't do that with any. Same with Penny. Penny outwardly admits that it's just made up stuff. I don't know if this is true, but someone said it to me at the bus stop. Like, she outwardly admits that, so that's fair enough if you want. But sorry, Scorpio Nads, I have not looked at my email since the last broadcast. Sorry, but I should do. Yeah. Broady says she's in the chat now, offering to do it with me. Okay, like what? The authenticity should be my footage. I'll do it. Yeah. All you need to do really is, I mean, how do you? Okay. See, now you're asking, like, okay. How to see when video was filmed? Did you do it on an iPhone? Properties, metadata. You should be able to like take a screenshot of the metadata and just like post it up. I mean, I'd trust that. I know you could fake that. You could fake it, but you know, like, there's a limit to how far I want to, you know, try and push things, isn't there? I'm only a YouTuber. But each video should have its own like metadata, which is essentially just the information the video saves, other than what you see. You know, it's like the date, the time, the settings, all that, which phone it was made with and all that. You should be able to access the metadata. And then Super Chuffer, can you read my super chat? I think I did. I'm sorry if it's gone. Oh wait, hang on. The whole case stinks. I'm glad there are people like you and Eddie covering this. We see the objective facts. Keep the good work up. JVC84. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I apologise if I'm falling apart a little bit here. You're not really how to say post it somewhere. I mean, do you have like Twitter or something like that? Or my facility for getting guests on the show is currently not working. You can probably come on, but you won't be able to hear me talking. To the Discord, yeah, Discord. Share it, yeah, just share that to my Discord then if you want, yeah. Like, there will always be PsyOp people who will say that it can be fake, but I will personally, like, again, like, this is not a court of law, is it? Like, in the court of law, they would have the actual video and then they would just say this is the metadata. But like, if you want to send me a screenshot on the Discord, I'm opening up Discord now and it's saying installing update 1 of 15. So Discord's just updating. But yeah, I would accept that, and I'd be more inclined to like, because you're unlikely to go and shoot a video with the same metadata now, are you? Like, and you're unlikely to be very quickly photoshopping that. So Maria went, oh, you posted it to me yesterday. You posted it to me yesterday. Thank you. See, I don't check these things quick enough. True crime space, yeah. So you see, I trust the concept, but like I say, if I were to put it on the internet and say this is from 4th of April, like, I'm going on what somebody said to me in a Discord, and I don't know you, so I wouldn't do that myself. Do you understand? Like, I'm not trying to have a dig at you. And if I wanted to, then I could say to you, can you show me the metadata so I can verify it, which is what I'm doing now. And if you want to post it in that there now, then I'll verify it and then we can talk. You know, then I'm the one that verified it, am I? But unfortunately, I don't think Armchair Detective... See, the thing that I'm worried about when it comes to Armchair Detective and this being a PsyOp or silly ideas or any ideas is just that, like, why aren't they doing their due diligence? That's what the word is, due diligence. The first thing they should have said to you is, thank you, Maria. This is interesting to me. I mean, if I was to present this, I'd have said, thank you, Maria. This is interesting to me. It's important that we verify the metadata so that I'm not accidentally sharing something that's not quite correct, please tell me, and show me, and then you could, and then that would be it. Are you all right with that? I believe now Maria is working on that. Give her a couple of minutes. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm not. This is not a personal negative against Maria. Maria equals somebody on the internet that I don't know. So I have to just be cautious. And I'm surprised that someone like Armchair Detective would not have done what we call due diligence. Let's just quickly check that. Due diligence. An investigation, audit or review performed to confirm facts or details under consideration. In the financial world, due diligence concerns financial records. Oh, that's why he's not doing it, because he didn't do any of his taxes and he's not allowed to run a business. Obviously, he's not that sort of person, is he? So if they're not going to do this, and Grizzly didn't do it either, because they sent her that CCTV and she was like, right, that's going on my channel, boom. And I don't want to be, if this is what it needs to be done, if I have to be a true crimer and I have to be now you're dragging me, body language and chuffer, fun chuffer, body language, fun chuffer, and you're dragging me into this now to the point where I'm having to do the due diligence for the rest of the internet who are involved in the true crime space. So really, they should all be like, Armchair Detective should be here super chatting me, and Grizzly True Crime should have been giving me a tippies for discovering her video was fake. Do you know what I mean? Why am I having to do this work? Youre said, you sent another super chat. I said we need to verify our sources every time. I believe that eventually 100 if he's good. Yeah, sorry if I missed your super chat. There's a lot going on here today. I'm trying to keep an eye on Discord to see if Maria posts this thing as well. No rush, Maria, don't worry. I assume you're not quickly on Photoshop knocking up a Photoshop. But even if you are, it doesn't matter, because the original file will have its own metadata, and if it were to ever be used to be, if anyone wanted to follow through with any further due diligence, if they were, I don't know, a reporter or a true crime channel where their reputation was important to them, then they might do that. So, you would have that always to show them. So, I'll trust you that you're not doing a Photoshop job. The rest of the world would, it's up to them. The rest of the world being you on the internet is here as well now, yeah? You realise that I'll show you a picture, or Maria will show me a picture, and we'll agree that we kind of trust her. But that's not full due diligence, is it? Is it? You see, is it? I don't know, because I haven't tried to do the full due diligence on the source of a media file recently. I don't know what you would ask me for, whether you'd need me to have it sent to me, and whether I would then, stuff like that. I would have to ask one of my friends, because I have got friends in media production. I'm not trying to big up now. I did make a documentary. It did go onto Netflix. I'd have to ask somebody in that field for the correct answer. But yeah, it's just a strange thing. Right, we'll scroll down. We'll keep doing this, and then when I think Maria's typing now, so I think, or in a minute, whatever, it will pop up on my Discord, and I'll try and get that on the screen. Next, we've got the Great British PsyOp here. There's a video.
You get home, the police are on the way there. So I'd rung the police at I think about 10 to 11, and they were there. They got there at 25 past. So.
Now we're going to go through some music which I can't play, and there's all these reports about when the phone and when the this and when the that, when this and when that, and there's some pictures of some people. So the pictures are all kind of irrelevant, really, aren't they? There's a wooden sign on the tree. They're all kind of irrelevant, but the oh, there we go. Okay, what have we got now? Yeah, okay, so you sent me a picture and it's got me on the screen. That's a good idea. That was a good idea, because now it's got me on the screen. It can be verified that you're doing it right now. What a smart thing to do. Okay, so what I need to do is take this. What does it say? Open in browser? Yeah, okay, I can open it in my browser. Therefore, I should be able to just do this. Paste and go. Yeah, there you go. Now everyone on screen can see this. It says the frames per second, the megabytes, the frame 1920 by 1080, 13-second video, H.264, which is the encoding, ACC, SD card on the camera, and 4th of April 2023, 11:19. So all the details are there. Yeah. Now you could say, oh, that's just been done on the Photoshop. It could be, I think it was a good idea that they've used that picture there, you know, showing that this has been done right now. So they'd have to do it very quickly. But it could be done on Photoshop. I'm not saying that she has. I'm saying that I agree. To me, this is enough for my due diligence. Yeah, that's what I'd expect to see on that. So it's there. Now, that is there. If you want to go a step further, if you're, I don't know, a true crime channel, you could say, send me the file, and then when I look at the file and my metadata, it will say the same thing. And I'll check it, and then it'll be verified. Yeah? Of course, I'm not broadcasting the clip. I'm not bringing it to my channel to say, oh, everyone watch me, and, you know, like AD and whoever. So I haven't done that. But it's easy, isn't it? Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you for doing that. That's really, you know, straightforward, and it's cleared a lot of stuff up for me. I'm glad, because I'm not saying that you were not credible. I'm saying that just seeing it on the internet all of a sudden on Penny's channel and she wouldn't source it, that's not credible. But you're providing credibility. I don't know why Penny doesn't do this. I don't know why Armchair Detective doesn't do this. It's bizarre, isn't it? So now I'm more happy to look at this and talk about it and tell you what I think as well, which I haven't done up to now because I wasn't so happy to talk about it. But I'll tell you something about what I think here. Isn't it strange that this happened a couple of days after we did a video, didn't we? Blowing my own trumpet a bit here, but I'm assuming they're watching now, aren't they? Crying Emma, body language and react. Emma White, more red flags. That video, we said, she talked about a jigsaw puzzle piece, and we said that we thought there was one more piece of evidence that they had missed, that they'd thrown into the river. Do you remember? You were there. You were there, weren't you? You were there. We said that on the internet. And then the police were down there 2 days later, so it's me. I'm doing it. They're listening to this and then they're going down there. No, honestly, they're either conducting tests because the autopsy report will have requested, like they can request, it's not just the simple autopsy, is it? It's gone to this other slightly different autopsy. So they can say, give me a toxicology report on how the drugs break down in water, or give me a report on this. They can request like certain reports to be made, I'm sure, as part of the autopsy. I'm sure. I'm not certain, 100%. I'm not a true crimer. I think they can, okay? So my guess is that that's been done. Someone's requested some tests to be carried out in this area of the river. And at the same time, I'm saying they're out there looking for some other clues that they think they've missed. Something that may have been... Because I said, we looked at it on the internet. It appeared to have been brought up for the first time by me on the... Me, the big chuffer. But it did, didn't it? It appeared to have been brought up for the first time about the jigsaw. We looked at it in a video. We said she says there's another piece to the thing. So I'm going to say that. You know, my great hope is that they're closing the net and that they're going to arrest Emma and Paul, because clearly they're both guilty of something. I mean, clearly, there's so much to unpack with Emma, isn't there? We've got even more videos to come. And I only said I'd do an hour on this today, so we've got to quick get through a bit more, but there's a video down here as well. I've got to say this about Gemjam here, because it was brought up in a chat. I didn't get to do it earlier, but I would happily have Gemjam on the stream. Richard has asked if I contacted them. No, I haven't. I asked Richard if he wanted to come on the stream, and he said no, but Gemjam might. And I said, who's Gemjam? And he showed me this like screenshot of people on Facebook. I don't know who Gemjam is. I'm not on Facebook. Yeah, and this says here. This is Gemjam writing this. Apparently, it could have been photoshopped, but apparently, right? Apparently. Teresa Hogan, now, considering we can't tell you everything we know, but one of the witnesses advised us he didn't see her, but a lady matching her description, and it was a different day. It's also believed the 70-year-old didn't see her either, and his wife said that, but got mistaken. So the original poster raises some very valid points. You what? Now, you're telling me that you're in touch with the witnesses on a not criminal. If it was a criminal case and you were contacting the witnesses like this, that would be some issues. But non-criminal, not a criminal, fortunately, but you're contacting the witnesses or they're contacting you, and I'm to just believe that because you're a top contributor on Facebook. Like, I don't believe that. I don't, just because you told me. And what annoys me about it, it says, you type that. Now, considering we can't tell you everything we know, but one of the witnesses advised us, so you know special stuff and I don't know it. So you're the big special one and I don't know it. But you won't tell me what it is. Like, hello? Like, anyone who believes this sort of malarkey on Facebook needs their head checked. She could be Gem could be absolutely legit. But if you don't want to be verifiable, if you don't want to have your due diligence done on you, if you're just going to say that you own special information and you're the special one, and like everyone else is some scumbag on, like you're a special Facebooker and everyone else is like, no, like considering we can't tell you everything, why can't you tell me everything? There should be no reason why you can't tell me everything if you're being honest. I just don't, I don't vibe with that. I think it's giving me a bad vibe. I question the narrative, and the narrative I'm questioning is, why can't Gemjam tell me the truth? Why won't Gemjam be overt and explicit with her information? Is it because she derived some status and power from being the head of this group on Facebook and she has to like control the narrative? Like, I don't want that. I just want people who are going to be open and honest with everything. Because if I get Gemjam on the show to tell me about the PsyOp stuff and what she believes or whatever, she's going to need to show me the forms, the evidence, like Maria just did, which was wonderful. Thank you, Maria. Again, I wasn't poking fingers at Maria. I was saying, in this world of true crime, due diligence is important. So Gemjam's saying, we're not going to do our due diligence. We're not going to allow you to do yours. I have the information, you don't. So I get a very bad vibe out of that. And what I'm interested in is that Richard believes in Gemjam. Gemjam can post it on Facebook. It's now facts. But you're supposed to question the narrative. Who is Gemjam? Is she working for the government? Is she working for is she part of the narrative spinners? Is she getting her narrative from one of those people that's working for the narrative spinners? Is she part of the PsyOp? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to question the narrative. And if you're not going to be verifiable and valid on the internet, if you're going to be a Facebooker, then I just have to just say, okay, thanks, but I'm not going to put it on my channel. I'm not going to talk about it like it's fact. It can't go in my book of facts. It can go in my book of someone at the bus stop told me. That's all. I'm not, no offence to Gemjam. Well, it's not her name, is it? Someone said, why does she have a double-barreled name? That's not her name. Super Chuffer's not my name. I don't know. Anyway, I like Richard because he's here on Twitter. We're talking, at least through Twitter, about the stuff. But Gemjam, I'm not even in that world, and I don't want to be in that world of Facebook groups. I'll tell you something else about Facebook, is that several years ago now, Facebook was abandoned by all the young people. All of the young people left Facebook. They're now on TikTok and other shit like that, Snapchat and Instagram and that. And what you've got left with on Facebook now is a lot of older people. No offence, I'm one of them. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm an older person and not a younger person, am I? And they're different as a group. They're marketed to differently. They're confused differently. They talk a lot of shit differently. And Facebook has changed. And the people that are now dominant on it, the companies that are now dominant within it, the subversive right-wing groups that are feeding those ideas into it, they're not being countered and counter-argued by the younger people who are smarter and savvy and internet savvy. Facebook's different. Facebook's different. So I don't, that's not my world. That's why I've not invited Gemjam on. If Gemjam wants to come on, she is welcome, but she will need to verify things. She can't just say to me, this is a PsyOp because look at that picture. I'll need to know where the picture came from. Like, you'll need to show the metadata. Do you know what I mean? Like, it will need to be more verifiable than just, I said it on Facebook. I've talked to the witness, but you can't talk to them. I'm not telling you what they said. Like, get over yourself. And then the other thing about it is that Gemjam is assuming she's talked to all the witnesses then. Because she said, it is also believed the 70-year-old didn't see her either. Believed. But you haven't talked to him. But what about the third witness? What third witness? Well, you don't know about them because the police have talked to them and not released it to the public. You don't know what's going on. So unless you're sure what's going on, you shouldn't say that you're sure what's going on. So it annoys me a little bit that they consider themselves to be the font of all this knowledge, maybe having spoken to one person who claims to be a witness. Yeah, maybe. So then there's this Mason thing again. Someone else asked when we're doing the Masons episode. I'll do it when I can find some way into it and find some information. But at the moment it seems to be, there's a lot of nonsense. But yeah, specialist water search and sniffer dog. Malaysian fire and rescue. Examples of other people's rescue. So probably not. This is what I wanted to get to. Look, this is interesting to me. This is Emma White. So here, what I want to know is, when is the interview being made? Who is making it? What is this watermark that you're covering up or taking out or changing on the front? Somebody has doctored the image. I want to know who and why. And I want to know when it's been recorded and who by. unseen, unused. Tell me why. And what annoys me about this is unseen implies that the media people who are creating this, what is possible that happens is you could hire, like, let's say I want to get some footage from this stuff. I'm in London and this is going on in Lancashire. I can call up some videographer in Lancashire. You're right, you're on a job now for Getty Images. Oh, am I? Good, because I've signed up to that post board on the internet to get jobs. Yeah, you're on one now. Go and film these chuffers. The producer will be there. They'd ask the questions. You do the filming. Oh, thanks. And you go and you've got your memory card, and at the end they take the footage and you've got your memory card. And you're like, oh, I've got some extra footage here. Obviously, I'm signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't share that. But this could be the regular team that work with the media. You know, it could be someone in the editing suite has got this extra footage. Not supposed to release this, but I've got it. Like, somewhere this has got out, hasn't it? And it's through a camera operator or an editor or even a producer. But this is extraneous footage. Who is releasing this? Where from? And why? I need to know. It's important to give me context for what I'm about to watch. But without it, I have to take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt, don't I? Because there is no context and the image has been doctored. But I'll bear with it. Because I do like images and videos of Emma that, I'm going to pretend it's absolutely real. I say pretend. Without any verification, I'm going to assume, for my purposes, it's real. But for me on my channel to say, right, we're doing a debunk of Emma White today and we're going to look at her body language in this video, I'd need more than this. Wouldn't I? Wouldn't I really? Quite often I haven't even said in the videos, this has been filmed by and has been produced in this media, but they've all been produced in the mainstream media. Like, that's where they're from. I can go back and show you where they're from, but this one, not so much. So please, Richard, please, show me some of the receipts. Who the London and mental crime? Why is Emma and this woman always together? Yeah, interesting. It is interesting, isn't it? She separates from her, doesn't she? And I want to know whether the other woman stops going and hanging out because she doesn't like Emma, or whether Emma decides to go solo later on. Let's listen to what's being said.
Please.
Emma White.
Okay. Heather Gibbons. Okay. And you're both friends?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And just tell me, you've been out all weekend?
All weekend. We're obviously a local community. They are our friends. Everyone's pulling together just to search to bring Nikki home for her 2 little girls. We plea, if anybody knows anything, share with the police. 2 little girls want their mummy home. Please help.
And this is out of character, Heather.
This is not Nikki. This is out of character for Nikki. She adores her family. She adores her girls and her husband. They're just such a well thought of family. They're so loved, and we know that if she could be, she'd be at home. So yeah, we just want her home with the girls. The community's pulled together. There's been an amazing turnout. The community support has been huge. Yeah, we just want to carry on our search today and hope that we get some good news.
Just initially as well, because we haven't done a lot of it. We haven't talked about Heather a lot, but she does. She's got her eyebrows raised in that, but it's not really like the believe me look. The shoulders aren't shrugging as much and stuff like that. What it is for me is it's a sign of disbelief. Like, she almost incredulity. Can't believe this is going on. It's not the wide eyes and shruggy shoulders of the disbelieve me look of the believe me look. So what's being said here is take note of the reaction during and after from Emma, we will do, and the prompts by the interviewer and slip up. I don't know what the slip up is, but Emma always slips up in lots of different ways. But what's interesting here is the prompt for me. We'll look at Emma in just a second. Let's quickly look at this prompt.
And this is out of character, Heather.
And this is out of character, Heather. And then we zoom in on Heather. Now, I've worked in the media, so I can categorically state that when you're dealing with members of the general public and you're collecting essentially what you're collecting here, it's an interview, it's an interview, but what you're collecting is sound bites for the news. You don't want it to go on for 20 minutes about this and that. Don't tell me about your jammy dodgers that you had for breakfast. Just get straight into the fucking meat of the vegan meat alternative of what I'm talking about. So we've had from Emma one asked, like, what I'm looking for is, like, I'm stood there, imagine you're stood there as the producer of this piece of media. What you're looking for in 1 minute 16 or 1 minute whatever it is, what you're looking for is Emma's going to give you emotional plea. Then you're going to tell me it's out of character. You've already got a narrative that you're forming in your mind because you're telling the news story. So if you turn up and you just say, yeah, tell me whatever, and then they just go on, then you aren't getting your job right. If I was doing this because I did a film about strongman, like with my friend Matt, like we didn't just sit down with the strongman and say, right, what do you want to talk about today? Did you have a nice trip down here? What was the car journey like? Like we asked them specific leading questions. Do you know what I mean? Like, even to the point where, like, being a little bit cynical, there was one time where we deliberately went out to talk to Eddie about mental health, and like me and Matt said, look, if we get the right tone here, we might be able to get him emotional. Not I'm trying to make Eddie cry, but we want him to open up about his emotions, so we have to get this tone right. So we're going to ask these questions. I'm going to quieten down. You're going to be the lead. You know, these are the kind of questions we're going to ask. You think about it in advance because you're producing media. You haven't got 3 days to shoot this, so you want them to say what you want them to say. So it's not a sign for me of a PsyOp that the media producer is producing the media. What it's a sign of is they're doing their job that they do every fucking day on every news report. This one happens to be about this woman, but they're not going to let her get out of control and wander off the subject. They're going to ask her to tell me the thing you need to tell me that I can edit into my news doc thing so that I can make it look like, you know, today on the news, emotional plea, and you know how it's supposed to go. Do you know what I mean? It's just an editorial choice. It's an editorial choice. So I don't think I've got a problem with her leading the guest there. In fact, I would lead the guest. If you're not doing that, you're not doing a good job as a producer. Interesting. Let's see Emma White, because this is what we really want to see, isn't it? We managed to dig this out now, an Emma White bit out of this, and then I'll give you about 20 more minutes on PsyOps, and then it's over to that being said. Right.
Emma White.
Okay.
Emma White, and notice when she says Emma White here, it lingers on her mouth. Like, she keeps her mouth slightly open there in a sort of false smile, like, you know, semi-smile. Obviously, this thing's in the way. I think this thing says Getty Images, and I think this footage is probably uploaded to Getty Images website where, again, like I said, if you're a freelancer working for Getty Images, you go out on the job. At the end of it, you put all the stuff up on the website, job done, and then other media can come and take it and use it if they want. I believe that's a Getty Images thing that's been taken out. I might be wrong, but, you know, that's the format that many people in the media work with.
Heather Gibbons. Okay. And you're both friends.
And then it moves away from Nikki, Heather Gibbons, and
Yes,
Nikki's not.
Yes, yeah. And just tell me, you've been out all weekend?
Nikki's not giving much away here, right? And what's very interesting is she's got this big coat up. I don't know when this was filmed, remember. I think this is earlier in the search. She's got this big coat up, and she's got this big Under Armour hat on. It's slightly dirty, the hat is. It's a very strange choice. It's covering her face, literally covering her face. And I mean, this is early days. I don't know where it fits in, whether she feels more or less under the microscope here. Maybe the other woman's been brought in to deflect from Emma so that Emma can lead the thing, but has someone else, you know, as the face of this interview. She's hiding in the background in a way here. Got the coat pulled up big. You know, she almost looks like a police operative herself here. The Under Armour hat, again, is, for me, almost slightly like those police hats that you see them wearing on the, you know, on the telly. It almost looks like she wants to look like she fits in with the police search. Like, it's almost like she's wearing her police search gear or something like that. And Armour, I know it's a strange, maybe she's only got one cap, you know, I don't know how many caps she's got, but Under Armour is a strange choice. It's a gym brand, but it's also a combat sports brand, and it's specifically a combat sports brand, and that would imply that whoever bought the hat either got it free
Raining
or...
again. I couldn't be happier. Swish and then whoosh.
Class accent tippies. Unrelated, but why have Nicola's family never came out and said that her vulnerabilities weren't relevant? The only reason I can think is because of a family argument maybe between the sister and Nikki, and they're now happy for the public to believe it was her vulnerabilities.
Possibly.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you very much for the 3 hugs there, Class Act. Possibly, you know, I do see what you're saying there. I wondered about the relationship between the sister and Paul and Nicola. I do think that the issue with that side of the family is her father wanted to say some stuff. He looked like he was going to, like, he was the only one so far that we've seen give a real emotional plea. Looked like he was going to break down in tears, but he also looked like he might have got angry and, you know, said something, maybe threatened someone, maybe put forward a suggestion. And it looked like his wife was, I remember watching that very clearly, his wife kept checking him, looking across. You know, they've obviously had a conversation about this sort of thing. My belief is now, since that first interview, they've had it with the media. They don't think the media has helped. They, in fact, think the media has got in the way. The media spread that idea that all the TikTokers are in the way. They've been advised, they're old school, they're from a different generation. They probably don't talk to the papers at all. They probably call them the papers rather than the media. Don't talk to the papers at all, and they would, in my opinion, want nothing more to do with any of it because they've got to move forward. Like the convincing line that's been said to him. Thank you very much, Huda. The cap is to avoid looking at the camera. Huda says, red flag, definite red flag. I believe that the family would have been encouraged to not talk to the media. You know, don't. If anyone calls from any of these, but don't even watch it. Don't pay attention to it. We need to focus on giving Nicola a good send off, and I think they might be more involved in raising the children, that side of the family. You know, I don't think Paul and Emma are doing that. I think that side are. So I think they've got things to be focused on, and that's my thinking behind that. But I would, out of everyone, I would like to hear more from Nicola's father. You know, I would like to understand what his beliefs were, because he has he would have an intuition. He would have a feeling, an intuition, and I'd like to know what it was. Even if it's just a feeling or an intuition, you know. And the same with her mother. I think they both have that, and I think they're probably keeping it close to their chest. Maybe as well. Maybe it's worth saying this: that the police, they'd be in contact with the police, and so maybe they're taking their cues from the police as well. So maybe the police are saying, you know, I understand your concerns. Maybe they take their concerns to the police. You know, maybe they've got a liaison that they take them to the police every time, and they're dealing with it. But it's a real interesting thing. We could go back and look at that interview again. We could. So she's definitely covering up her face, isn't she? My choice, my thinking on the thoughts on this Under Armour cap as well is that it's a combat sports brand. Has Emma herself gone into a shop and thought, I like the Under Armour brand, I will buy a cap? Or is this like, you know, has she gone around the house and said, like, she's got a young boy, hasn't she? And maybe that's her husband's cap. Like, has she chosen other people's clothes because she's dressing up? No, she's not just like, it's not like my normal, like if it's me, I'm putting on my normal hat, like my normal cap. I'm just going out because that's my cap. But has she gone and, you know, sourced this through her wardrobe and decided on that's the look for the day? If so, it's a deliberate choice, a very deliberate choice. And has she got other caps to choose from? Or is Under Armour the choice? It's very strange. Louise says, check the teeth. I don't know about...
All weekend, we're up
about her
to
teeth.
a local community. They are our friends. Everyone's pulling together just to...
She's shaking her head a lot and she does the little shrug. This
again.
very
I couldn't be
reminiscent.
happier.
Helen MC sent tippies. Just joined the live chat to get my super chuffer fix.
Thank you very much for the
Super
tippies.
chuffer owes 3 hugs.
As I say, I'm going to run today now for about another 10, 15, 20 minutes, but it's not supposed to be a big one today. And we've got accidentally into some body language, cheeky body language, so that's good. But after this, I watch That Being Said. I'll show you what it is. Big ups That Being Said. It's called The Group Think, and it's going to confuse you if you don't know what's going on, right? What it is it's a TV show, a radio show, a podcast, an online show with my mates, some of them. Steve, he comes on my channel, and they talk about, pretty exclusively, this chuffer, That Being Said, talk about Darkside Phil, who is a streamer. It's the internet world. It's the world of the internet. And he's the main villain in this story. And he's been a bit of a chuffer across his life. There's lots of information to be found on Darkside Phil, but for me, it's a place of fun, frolics. There's a lot of creatives there. They're very good people, the detractor community. And they're the sort of people who think critically and pick holes in people's grift. And that's the general gist of it. So they're kind of, I find, quite ethically similar to me. Like they're good people, I find. So I like the detractor community and the detractor sphere, and I join in with some of the fun there. 20 minutes, that show's on. So I'll be there in chat, listening to that, watching that. Steve will be on it. So that's what I'm running up to today. I won't divert my stream into it because I don't know how, but I'll give you a link to it if you want a link so that you can join, you know, in chat. You know, if you're not into this stuff, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's going to be a bit of a rabbit hole that, you know, you need to go down the rabbit hole first, maybe. But there's the link in chat in case you want to know what's coming up. What will you get out of this? You seem obsessed with this. Me, I get money from this, right? I get tippies. on the tips, and I get money from my videos on YouTube that are monetized, so people watch them, the videos get an advert, the advertisers deem it as advertiser friendly content. In fact, the advertisers quite like this sort of content. Who to London Mental Health and Crime, please watch the parents interview. We'll do another episode of it then. We haven't got time now, but we have got a time in the future to a full episode on it. Thank you for the £5 super chat, Huda. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be straight up with it. This is also helping my channel to grow.
Maya O sent tippies. Love YA Chuffer.
See, people like
Super
it.
Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
People like it. So what I get out of it is a chance to explore a subject as well. Like, I can't just make any content just because people like it. You know, I'm not here like, you know, sucking cucumbers for tips. Do you know what I mean? But I find it really interesting, the body language, and I think here there's a case of there's an injustice that's not been finished. You know, there are murderers not yet brought to account. That's my feeling. So I'm quite happy. Like, tooth missing. They're saying a tooth missing. There. Is it the way her teeth come together, or is it a missing tooth? Might be the way that it might be the way her teeth come together here. Like, I'm saying that maybe there is the. Oh no. Okay, yeah, come back. I'm saying that maybe like there's a tooth behind a tooth there. Maybe it's the way the camera, the light and the dark, and the way her teeth come together. Or maybe it looks like there's a bit of a missing tooth. It certainly looks like a missing tooth there when she's got her mouth slightly open. Could it be possible that Nicola knocked her tooth out? I'm still of the opinion that Nicola was not... Like, this is my opinion now, but, you know, fuck it. Nicola was not easily swayed into getting into that river. I think that they murdered her and then put her in there. So I think there was a struggle. I actually think that Nicola confronted Paul and Emma over their affair. And so... when that happened, I think she possibly caught them in the act, and then it fucking kicked off. And like during that, I think there was a struggle, and I think that maybe Emma and Paul were like, Paul had a bruise on his eye. We all saw it. So I don't know how to judge this. I can't see her dental records. I haven't got enough personal knowledge of like intimate knowledge of Emma's mouth, but it does look like there's a missing tooth there, doesn't it? And if you've got a false tooth or something like that and you have a fight, maybe that can come out. You'll have to tell, you know, you'll have to decide what you think on that. We're always finding shit like this, aren't we, on this channel? It's you in chat. That was you in chat. That wasn't me. There's a number of you in chat there. A number of you. I mean, does this imply a PsyOp, or does it... Because to me, that suggests either she's always got a missing tooth and I've never seen it, or she's, for some reason, had a tooth knocked out recent, or she's got a false tooth that comes in and out, has been knocked out, or is not being worn, you know, or it's not missing at all and it's just the way I'm looking at it. But none of those options say to me PsyOp. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know why that... But I hopefully, because I'm trying to relate it to PsyOps today as well, but maybe we should abandon the PsyOp chat for a bit because we've found this lovely piece of juice. Thanks for saying I deserve the monetization, Marianne. I've worked very hard to get here. I've studied media. I have been on the internet for a while doing lots of different kinds. I've actually been on, like I said, a team that made a documentary that went on to Netflix. That's not like a permanent job. And I made another little documentary myself that didn't make me much money, but you can see it on the internet. And yeah, I'm trying to push forward into being a bit of a media producer. So it is quite important that I can make it financially sustainable. So thanks, yeah. I'll work at it. Work meeting. And the makeup, we don't know because we can't see, but I assume that cap looks to me like a cover-up job, yeah. Like, whether it is or it's not, deliberately, it's subconsciously covering her face. She's doing a TV interview, for Christ's sake, and she's decided to cover her face with a cap. Like, maybe it's cold that day, maybe you always wear that cap, maybe it's your, you know, sunshade cap or whatever. You'd still take it off for the interview on the telly, wouldn't you? You'd still pull that cap off for the interview on the telly. Very strange.
Okay. Heather Gibbons. Okay. And you're both friends.
Yes, but yes.
You're both friends. It should be an instant yes, but Emma doesn't say anything. She sort of goes, nods, whereas Heather, instant yes. So Emma doesn't consider her a friend, but she does consider Emma a friend.
Yeah.
And just tell me, you've been out all weekend? What have you been
All
doing?
weekend.
She wants to take on over now. All weekend. She's going for the emotional. She has got quite heavy eye makeup on. We can't really see it though.
We're obviously a local community. They are our friends. Everyone's
We're obviously a local community. I don't know why we need the qualifier obviously. And local, everyone is a local community. Like, it's just the most fucking stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, everything's local to wherever it is. Like, your local shop is local to you. Otherwise, it's not your local shop, is it? Like, my local shop is not your... Unless you live near me, your local shop is not my local... You know what I'm saying? This just looks really weird to me, this whole thing. Obviously, we're a local community. She's fumbling her words. I'm saying this is earlier. I'm guessing this is like a more, like, you know, day 1, day 2 interview. Hasn't quite got her shit together.
pulling together just to...
Pulling together, she describes the community again, so getting her shit together.
Search to bring Nikki home.
To search to, and then she changes her mind here. I need to download this so I can go frame by frame, and we have got this thing in the way, but this is actually quite big. This is actually quite big. Like, we find these things on this channel. You know, if you're watching this, this is how this shit works on this channel. I start off, I have my little rant, get my little fucking tizzy. Get my little leg on. Got my little leg on, didn't I? Didn't he? Got his little leg on. Didn't he? You got your little leg on, didn't you? Got me little leg on. Got your little leg on, didn't you? Got me little leg on. Got your little leg on. Oh, you're a bad chuffer. You shouldn't watch them. You shouldn't watch this. Oh, you're a bad chuffer. Got your little leg on. They're not going to like that, though, are they? They're going to get cross, aren't they? Yeah, they're going to get cross, aren't they? Shouts out to Eddie's Final Break, though. Shouts out. So I'm not mean to everyone. No, that's a good point. Got your little leg on, though, didn't you? Got me little leg on. Right, so, yeah, and shouts out to Penny, you know, in a channel of spurious conjecture. But this is actually really big. This is actually really big. We find these things, we watch these videos, and then we find really critical pieces of information that really should be highlighted more, and I should make shorts out of them or something. But this, okay.
All weekend, we're obviously a local community. They are our friends. Everyone's pulling together just to search to bring Nikki home for her.
Just to search to bring Nikki home. She doesn't make a big thing about stuttering over her words there. Everyone's coming together just to search to bring Nikki home. So, like, you're only searching for a dead body then, yeah? Like, Nicola's not alive then? No. Guilty knowledge then? Yeah. Like, to search to bring Nikki home. Like, that's what you're coming together to do. I thought what you were coming together to do was, as a community, to raise awareness of Nicola so that she might be found, whether she be, like, she could have got the train down to Manchester. She could be out there, you know, she could have gone from Manchester to fucking Ireland for all I know. We're here to get the word out, to make sure if anyone's seen anything, to jog their memory. No. We're here to search to bring Nikki home. I think that's quite big. I think it doesn't seem like a lot, but now, in context, and I need to know when this video was shot. You know, I need to know if this is day 1, day 5, day 10, day 20. If it's day 28, you know, if it's the day before she's found, then it feels a bit more acceptable to say to search to bring her home, because you might have given up by then. But if it's early, then it's a proper slip-up. And I don't know what slip-up Richard was suggesting was in here about a PsyOp, but to me, it doesn't scream PsyOp. In fact, if it was a PsyOp, then you wouldn't use these people. You wouldn't do it like this. You'd say, take off your hat. There you go. Take off your hat. It's not a PsyOp then. Because a PsyOp, you wouldn't have the hat on. Unless you're going to tell me, oh, the hat's a big symbol of a PsyOp. But then she's not wearing the hat in the other ones, so it's not consistent. To me, it's more of a fuck up. Now, as a media producer, I would have stood there and said to her, you don't say take the hat off. What you say is, do you want to keep the hat on for this interview? And you let them think, oh, do I? Probably no, I don't, do I? Now you say, you lead them in like that, and then you say, because we can see your fake's better without it, and then they take it off. You know what I mean? Like, she's got some Paul Ansel on her cap. She's got some marks on her cap. Either that's, I don't know what that, it could be. Maybe this is the cap she wore and the coat she wore when they disposed of her. I'm laughing. It's not funny when they disposed of her body, you know.
Local community, they are our friends. Everyone's pulling together just to search to bring Nikki home for her 2 little girls.
Come on.
We plead if anybody knows anything, share with the police. Two little girls want their mummy home. Please help.
Okay, here's interesting as well. Two little girls want their mummy home, please help. Gets the fake crying. Now we know it's fake crying because we've seen it before. She steps back and away and almost like trying to leave frame and hides her head. Now she looks down when she hides her head. This is shame. If she is crying, if she is breaking emotion, it's in the shame of it all. The shame, her own feelings of shame, looking down like this, not being able to face up to it, completely hidden now by the like turtle shell of coat and hat. Like awful, terrible, terrible. And it's not real and it doesn't last for long. And Heather, bless her, reaches out with her hand here to console Emma. Like reaches out to like, you know, rub her on the back and console her. And then look what Emma does.
It's out of character, Heather.
You can't really see it. Like Emma looks up and is checking the interviewer. She's not crying. Like the arm's gone on her. Like if I'm crying, if you're consoling a friend and they're crying, if you've ever done that, what they tend to do is reciprocate because they're feeling emotional. Like I remember recently, I suppose most recently, it's a sad thing. It was a family funeral and like it's my second cousin, I suppose, but I feel like she's my auntie. My second cousin or whatever. Anyway, like I just went over and I'm like, you know, giving her a rub on the back and giving her a cuddle and stuff. And she put her arm around me, you know, and then with arms around each other because that's what you do, isn't it? Like what Heather does that. Emma doesn't reciprocate in any way. She looks up and she checks the reporter. Have you believed me there? Are you taking what I'm throwing out here? Like just a little head up and check. And then it's zoomed in on you now, so we can't see Emma anymore. She's just off to the side. But she doesn't come in and like have that cuddle, does she? You know, and it's a very strange piece of body language that when the arm comes out to console her, she steps away from that friend, who's not really a friend. She steps away. I mean, I'm saying that Emma doesn't consider her as a friend. Like there was the little shrug of the shoulders there, little shrug. The believe me, the shrug. What's that over? Let me just check what she's saying.
Two little girls want their mummy home.
Two little girls want their mummy home. It's not my fault. Talk with her head. Protect the neck. So feels threatened. The arm comes and she sort of
help.
Head down, move away. Literally head down, move away. That's very bad. To me, it's no indication of a PsyOp. It's just very, very bad from Emma again. Poor Emma. Get the London look. Maybe she's made of it. Maybe it's marmalade. I don't know. Certainly slapped it on big. Maybe it's. Don't get me on that. Ari Paul answer phone calls to the phone on the bench. People talking on Twitter conversations. He didn't call any wrong numbers. So, did he call the correct number? The records of both his telephone numbers and Nicola's will show exactly what happened. What did he say in the Channel 5 interview? He didn't say he dialed any wrong numbers. Correct. So he called the phone on the bench, ? Like, the conversation, if that's an indication of a PsyOp, you need to tell me what you mean. And what you mean is that Paul was calling the phone was on the bench. So why did anyone answer the phone while Paul was calling? Because the phone was there and people had picked up the phone and were saying, oh, whose is this phone? And, and the reason that we can't tie these numbers and these times and these things together is because we don't have an accurate timeline of events. The people who reported the timeline of events are confused and have reported confusions. So we don't know. Right, unless you're going to ask Ron and Penny exactly what... And they have to remember exactly what the time was then. And they have to tell you and you have to trust that. And we don't know. This one annoyed me. Bex, who I believe is in our chat, got blocked by Richard. And it did annoy me because she's saying the same thing as me, is that she's confused by this, right? Confused by what he was saying. And I was in that bit of chat and I was confused as well. And I was like, could you just tell us what you mean? And he's like, no, you've got to tell me what you think it is that I mean.
It's raining
and I was
again.
like, what?
I couldn't be happier. Swish,
Amber sent tippies.
And then he like...
I love your stuff, you chuffer. Have a smoke on me.
Thank you.
Super chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you. I tend to, like I say, I tend not to put the money that I'm making on this internet into that, but I appreciate it, the concept. It's going into the media campaign fund, the Fire Madeline fund, so that I can make better media. But yeah, if Bex is watching, she'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I found that very confusing. This was it. So we'll look at this quickly for the last 5 minutes of the show, and then I'll move off PsyOps. We might come back to it again, because I do enjoy watching these videos on here. I bring more videos to the table, Richard, please. I'll investigate them all, but please give me more where they're from, please give me more receipts with them, so I know where they're from and what they are. This one troubles me though, because it's hard to hear, and I'll tell you there's a problem with it. Okay, you ready?
Fell on deaf ears, totally.
I was aware of the gag. It was the first time I've heard. It's exactly the same condition as yesterday, so the shots I sent yesterday that we didn't send. It is. Yeah, but if you film now, I'll go on the bench with a cop. Oh yeah. She's at it again. Katerina was doing a live the other day, basically a prospect box.
So there's some conversation here, and it's very difficult to ascertain exactly what's being said. That's the truth of it. You've got another problem, is that we're to assume, as I've explained, this is shot by maybe a freelancer who's uploading it to maybe Getty Images, and they've shot this shot, and in the background other people are talking, and those people could be anywhere between a freelancer to a proper journalist to a damn policeman. I don't know, it could be just someone on the street. There are people talking off camera, we can't see them. The voices could have been added afterwards. I could have taken this shot of the police walking through the gate off the news and put voices on it. Like, I can't verify that. Remember, I'm talking about credibility and verification. Question the narrative. Yeah, so be sure you've got proper information before you question the narrative. Bex here says they're confused to the point with the footage. They're a linguist. They transcribe the audio. I'm unsure what it is you're trying to say. I welcome your response. Please give us a narrow transcription. If you can't even explain your reasoning, and I've put I don't get it either, and then Bex obviously blocked, and then he's put the linguist in inverted commas. So now I'm to question whether Bex is really a linguist. Like, I can't be asked. Like, Bex said she was a linguist. I don't mind if she is or is not a linguist. I don't mind if she's got a certificate for linguistics or not. Yeah, I studied linguistics when I studied English language at A level. I could call myself a bit of a linguist. I might not call myself one. I don't know what the strict criteria are for calling yourself a linguist, and nor do I care. What's more important is what is being said on this video. At 033, listen very carefully. You obviously think there's something that we should hear, so tell us what's being said. And Bex is like, I can't understand what it's being said. He's telling me that she's had experience transcribing things, is trying to transcribe it, can't understand what's going on. So help her out. Don't be cantankerous. Please give us a narrow transcription. I will if you can explain your reasoning behind posting it. So you need to say, the reason I'm posting it is because I believe that on the conversation this is da-da-da, and then she can give you like, why can't you do that? Blocked, not happening. You pissed her off and she blocked you. It's not a PsyOp. That's my opinion. She blocked me because I called her out, but you called her out. Like, that's rude. Like, if I were to say, you know, I'm a media producer, I'm interested in your video, and you tweeted back saying, yeah, fucking so-called media producer, who some media producer you are, like, prove it or something, I'd be like, what? Like, just calm the fuck down, mate. Like, I understand that she blocked you, but I'm also still confused as to what's going on. So that video, where the fuck it is, where is it? 2 minutes now before that being said. They're always late, but 2 minutes. So here in this video, in the thread now, we've got, I've put, how do you verify this footage is not just a hoax with audio dubbed on top? Richard has said pull back, and I don't know what it means. And everyone else is saying the problem. They're not really sure exactly what's being said, and everyone wants Richard to tell us what's being said, even people who agree with him. So this one, like, have you inaudible told them about the phone on the bench? Look, then after am I close? Richard's put close. It's like a little closer, hot. You're closer. Like, why are you doing this? If you're an agent of truth, why are you being cloaked, deceptive, eking out information like this? If you think something, say it. Like, my worry about PsyOps is that this is what PsyOp people would do, is to mess with your mind, is they'd eat this stuff out like this and mess with your mind. It worries me. So sorry, Richard, if I don't understand what's being said in this video. If anyone can watch that and give us a good, accurate appraisal and any maybe indication that it's factually being, you know, do you remember that video where they said Laurel and Yanni and Lauren, we all heard different things? Like, you hear different things when it's right on the edge. Why is it only through the one channel and not both channels? Like, we need to understand what's going on with this piece of media before we judge it to be factual. And then if it is, we need to understand what's being said, and nobody can. Less of a proof of a PsyOp and more of just confusion and smokescreen. And that's my worry, is that too much confusion and smokescreen, obviation of the facts. Problem with the PsyOp thing is that it obviates from all the facts. So the more that we're confused and in this mess and this swamp, the less we're grasping on real facts. So I worry about the PsyOp thing. If you're into that and you really believe it, I'm not saying you're wrong. And remember what I said earlier. I'll go with you and I'll like treat you with respect, but I don't believe it. So like, that's where we're at the moment with that. And today we've had a really good one. Thank you very much to Maria. Thank you all the people that did the super chats and the tippies. Thank you very much to Maria for coming forward to verify the metadata for the work, to allow me to do the due diligence that this chuffer doesn't bother to do. Thank you for that. And I stand by what I said. If you're interested in this sort of stuff and you're interested in true crime and stuff on the internet or whatever it is, whatever it is, I'll go back to let's have a look at me. Tweet me at Informal Films. There's me. If you're interested in all this sort of stuff, definitely question the narrative and definitely trust your own opinions and form your own opinions through critical thinking. Absolutely. Don't trust some randomers on the internet, and certainly the ones that I've called out today, just because I got a bit eggy because of what they were saying about these videos recently. Like, they're good examples of it. True crime requires due diligence. Otherwise, it's gossip. Okay? So that's what I feel about this PsyOp stuff as well, maybe. That it's in that realm. That you're going to have to show me some receipts. But okay, now I'm going to go off and watch That Being Said. Are they on yet? It's the music. They're about to kick off. Okay, so I'll give you a link to this. That's where I'm going to be in chat. And if you want to join me in chat, thank you very much. It'll be funny to see you over there. I don't know what you'll think of it. It'll be an interesting journey for you into the insight into what's going on in the world of the detractors. This week, it's all copyright strikes and takedowns that's been going on. But you never know. It might just be a load of fun. People ring in with their messages. It's a load of fun. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. It's been an interesting random stream that I thought I'd do about PsyOps, and we're going to be back, and on probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow we do more video review and body language breakdown of some of these people, some of these chuffers, some of these videos. And if anyone's got the videos of Emma wearing the hat, longer videos of that, let's have them. Send them to me on @InformalFilms. @InformalFilms. Send them to me there. Thank you very much. I will check my emails tonight. Thank you very much for everyone that sent me an email at truebinaural@outlook.com. It is telling me that my box is full and that I can't reply to people without buying any extra search. It wants me to buy more space on the server or some shit. I'm not paying any money, but neither do I intend to reply to everyone, so that's fine. But thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope I haven't come across like too much of a bad chuffer today. I care about the truth. I care about people being misled, and I care about people gathering. Sometimes they see you as like some sheep. Like they see you as like some money pig that they can harvest up, and the more of you watching me, the more tips I'm going to get and the more chats. Thank you very much for Huda for the super chats. Check the Daily Mirror, it's important. I'll have a quick check. Yeah. Reject all, save and exit. A quick check. I don't know what you want me to check. You're not blocked, Sarah, IOAS. You're not blocked. You might be blocked from somebody else. Happy Easter, Jay. We'll be on doing the chocolate Easter event as well, so look out for that. I don't know what you want me to see on here. I'm checking it, but I need to go and watch this podcast that I like watching, which is going to join. It's going to start shortly. Tell me quickly if there's something I'm missing. that I should be checking? I'll just quickly ask the news about that. There's nothing new on the Nicola Bulley stuff. You know, Huda's got a channel as well, though, so check Huda's channel out, and if there's anything I'm missing, Huda, then pop it up or get it to me, and, you know, I'll watch it, of course. Thank you very much for all the super chats. But yeah, I'm going to go and chill out now and watch the Larks, the Malarkey, the Larks, Nicola Bulley police raid, apparently, you're saying. Again, this is where we started, isn't it? There was a lot of... there's a lot of, you know, conversation about that. But the only news that will come out at the moment is about Curtis when he got raided. There's nothing new to that at the moment that I can see in the news, but you're telling me it's in there. But this is the rumour going around today, and that's kind of why I wanted to do today's episode, is to say that until like we get these facts, we can't report them. And maybe the mainstream media could, but I don't see them doing so. So in that case, maybe you're seeing something I'm not, but I can't see that. So they're late. I'm running late. Curtis Media being prosecuted, maybe. Can't chat anymore as you've got a work meeting, Super Chuffer. Yeah, I like watching this podcast. I like hanging out with the people in chat. It's a cool, fun time for me. You're invited. You're all invited. And I'm going to do that, yeah. We will, of course. I mean, if it turns out that someone's been arrested on this Nicola Bulley stuff, I will quickly jump on the internet, of course. So, you know, if Daily Mail, Nicola Bulley police raid, Daily Mail, a month ago. I don't even trust the Daily Mail for standard news anyway. This is like the worst one of them, isn't it? Breaking news. There's nothing here in the breaking news. You know, again, I appreciate you doing the super chats, but I just can't see it. So, and they go for all this shocking, brutal news on the Daily Mail. This is basically like if the Tory party run two news outlets, the Daily Mail and GB News, and like it's like a propaganda machine for the Tory party. So I don't trust like their choice of what goes on the news here, but it's not coming up with any Nicola Bulley stuff. So maybe I don't know where you're seeing that, but I'm not seeing it. So, but yeah, I wonder. I can actually direct you all over to this group thing. Do you know what I mean? I can force you all to go into the group thing. What do you think about that? Would you like to do that? I think I might be able to edit. Is it in customization? Redirect. There, look. Save. Okay, I've set the redirect up now. So when I end the stream, we all go over there. And if you don't want to be over there, it's too late. You're going to be over there. They're doing the banana song now. Squeeze banana! Squeeze banana! That's one of my favourites. So get over there. I'll see you in there. And you be good, my little puckos. And remember, if you can't be good, then you're naughty.